What's going on, guys? Ron back here with you. So today we're missing Josh, so I got to work on the camera thing myself. I'm not too used to using one. Sorry if there's a little wind noise going on. We finally have a nice day here in PA. It's about 50 some degrees, so I'm taking every opportunity I can to be outside and do something outside. So as you've seen by the title, we're installing the hot side pipe. It's going to be an easy install. No big deal. So I'll get it off and then I'll show you like some of the things that, you know, why the kit was developed and whatnot. Go from there. But first we'll start on the unboxing and show you guys that. Oh, and before we do the unboxing, if you guys aren't subscribed, please hit the subscribe button down below, hit the bell notification, be much appreciated. If you want to leave us a comment, any things that we could do to improve, you know, any information is good information for us. Also, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, leave it in the comments. We'll try to get back to you as fast as we can. But yeah, so thank you guys. Let's get to unboxing. So the actual pipe, you have a coupler with your 4 clamps, your second coupler. This is your billet adapter. Not used to working with one hand here. Your billet adapter and your O-ring. So that's all that comes in the kit. Like I said, it's pretty easy. Now, to take this out, you're gonna need a screwdriver, flathead, ratchet, an extension. You might not need the extension. I believe those clamps are 10mm, and you will need an 8mm or the flathead screwdriver to remove the old one, and then obviously a nice light. So from that, we will get you up there and start removing some stuff. All right, guys, so first thing you want to do for removing this, now me being me, I forgot to bring an 8mm, but the flathead will work suffice. I'll bring you guys over here, show you what we're working with. So there's your hot side, going back into there. You're going to want to remove this. Actually, I stand corrected, that is a 7mm. That is my bad. Let's loosen this up. All right, so you might be able to pop that off. And just for the video's sake, sorry the lighting, the sun's kind of blaring off this, I am gonna show you how to remove that clamp down in there, but for ease of this video, I'm going to remove the pipe first. But generally what you can do, you'll come in here, so I can rotate it, show you guys what we're looking at. I don't know if you can see it. There's a little ring in there that you'll pop from both sides, which isn't working as well as I wanted to. There you go. Let's see if I can pop it out like this. So, and there you go. So, somebody's making a lot of noise. So, as you can see, this ring, when closed, holds around the turbo like so. This little groove. I don't have the compressor housing out to actually show you what it hooks around, but there's a groove that it hooks into. You're going to use this on your new piece, so you have to take that off. It's not hard, just pry it off with a screwdriver. It comes right off. I'll show you how to do that right now. All right, guys, so you got to remove this, I'm going to call it a snap ring, but you got to remove this ring. So the easiest way is to kind of just break off this plastic. Now I'm going to try and do it with the flathead screwdriver. It should just come right off like that. Bring it off. No, take that off and work this out of it. Now I actually could put this back on if I wanted to, but this isn't going back on, so there's no need. So while this is off, I'll actually show you something else. So now that we're here, I'm going to show you the O-ring that comes in this kit. Now, let me untwist it here. Now, I don't know if you can see what this is. It's like a hollow on the back side O-ring. And it slips in like that, goes in like so, into the groove. Now, as you can tell, let me move this out of the way. This, I mean, it's pretty flimsy. The O-ring that you're gonna get is right there. So I think you can see the difference in quality. Once again, different durometer and material. I don't know what the material is, I did not ask, but I mean, just you can tell that it is much higher quality. I know it is a different hardness of O-ring, the durometer is different, but I don't know the material makeup of it, so I won't lie and tell you I know what that it is. So next, to install this O-ring, super easy. Slip it into that little groove. Like so. It's in the groove. Now, before installing, you might want to hit this up with a little oil or dielectric grease. Either one will really help on install, because these O-rings are really tight compared to these kind of flop on there and are extremely loose. You know, when you get into higher boost applications, these will break. So I do recommend, you know, this kit, you know, when you get into some higher boost applications, that being, you know, if you were to do some weight reduction and maybe put a tune on your truck, you know, this thing leaves the opportunity of blowing out. And you also have these little screw clamps that just don't really hold up as well as T-bolt clamps do. So O-rings installed, and we're gonna start putting this thing together. Show you how that's done up in a second. Recommend putting this on a little bit previous to installing the pipe, because it can be tight. So just try and get that clamp on. Rough estimate, it's like I said, when it goes into the truck, it's going to go like that. You'll tighten this up before, and the only thing you're going to have to worry about is where this ring goes in, just how you orient it, so that when you go to pull it back off, you're not going to be loosening these clamps. You're just going to pop this up and out, and then it should slide off just like I did the factory one. So put this on, pop that into place, and now we're going to dry fit this. Just kind of hand tighten these up a little bit, so move around. All right, so I'm going to show you in essence how this should go. So I did not put the clamp on there because I did not want, see, I need to rotate this one down a little more. So this top one needs to be rotated a little bit more. Try to do this with one hand. All right, so I got it pretty much where I want it. It's a little bit of a finagle to get it in there, correct? I'm gonna push this in more. Now, I have to loosen this up just a touch, move it, but it's easy to dry fit it, because once it's all together, it's going to be a real pain. So I recommend a few dry fits before you go to install it. Check it one more time, and then I will grab this hose just to cross check. Oh yeah. We're golden right there. So pop this out, make sure that's flat. Now you're going to want to grab a 10mm and tighten these up. I know there's a torque spec on it, but I'd either follow that, or if you know how to, if you tighten these up often, don't over tighten them, because it'll strip the threads and it'll be screwed. Because I believe the thread pitch on these nuts is actually something you won't pretty much find in your local hardware store. So we get these tightened up, and then I'm going to put, well, I'll show you in a second, get these tightened up, and then we will install the entire product, and I'll show you how that's done. All right guys, like I said, on the dry fit, I'm going to just show you real quickly how it goes in there. So that's kind of roughly how I have the clamp set up. You can set them up however you want. You just get it in there, give it a little rotate, push in, and then you can start to feel it seat over that outlet on the turbo, the compressor cover. So with a few rotations, you'll see how you get it lined up down here. And then you can just take this for reference and see how you have it seated over your intercooler onto the pipe. So that's kind of just how I did it, just to show you guys. Pretty simple. So yeah, get that tightened up, get the boot on this end, and go from there. All right guys, so I have these two clamps tightened up. I have this snap ring installed. I've lubed the O-ring inside there with some dielectric grease. Now I took this boot and slid it up a little bit just so it makes it easier, because since these boots are, you know, much stiffer than the factory ones, they're not so forgiving, which in hindsight it sucks putting on, but you know, when they get hot they don't like to blow apart or blow off. Well, yeah, they definitely shouldn't blow apart, but they don't like to blow off, and I mean they're really rigid parts, so they work really well. But getting them on, they don't have too much flex in them to where it makes them a little bit of a pain, but it's really not all that hard. So I'm gonna set you guys up, and I'm gonna try and get it in there as best I can, easily, if I can find where to put this GoPro. Okay, so slip this in and rotate that. Okay, so now that is snapped in. You can hear it, that snap ring go over and snap in. As you can see, I'm pulling on it, it's not coming off, which is good. And now you have to push this boot over onto intercooler. Can be a little bit of a pain, but it will go. You just got to give her some love. All right guys, had some camera difficulties, but back to what I was saying. So slide the boot up and get it in place. Now we're just sliding it back down over that intercooler. So just got to work it a little bit. Almost there. All right, I about have it. And I just got to work this if I want that. And that is looking pretty good. I'm going to tighten up these clamps, and I'll show you how it all looks in a second. All right guys, so I want to apologize. I got a big gust of wind here, hopefully you can hear me well, but I had to swap some of the clamps around. I'll show you that right now. And just because for some reason in my head it was just 180. I had it in my head that it was but it was wrong. So yeah, I'm gonna show you those clamps right now and which way they go. It's just mainly one clamp was the problem, and it was pretty easy to solve. So originally I had the other clamp coming up around here. The problem was the T-bolt was kind of falling right in here and could hit off the was rubbing off the fuel filter. So what I did, and I tried to tweak it, but then the part of the T-bolt back in here was actually hitting up on this and clocking this. It's just kind of kicking it just enough, and it went in rubbing obviously on your fuel filter or your upper intake. So I just slid it off, unbolted it, and swapped it around. It was no big deal. Just so you know, this one aims straight up. But other than that, I got that tightened back up. I just got to tighten up these two bolts, and we're good to go. Now like I said earlier, you do not want to over tighten these because it can screw you. I'll try and show you, give you an idea of what to look for. I think there is a torque spec in the instructions. I didn't look at that, but yeah. So you'll kind of see, I don't know if the camera can pick it up, but you'll see each side start to bulge out just a little bit, and you'll feel as you're tightening down, it'll be going good, and then it'll start to tighten up. Once it starts to tighten up, go a few turns past that to where it feels good and firm. And then also what I was noticing with that clamp one was in there was binding. So I don't know if you can see, but everything actually, like the whole clamp rotates and moves. Just so that as the engine torques, you don't want anything rubbing on each other, because you could potentially put a hole in your fuel filter, upper intake, something like that. And obviously don't want that. And as well with these clamps, you want them to clear your upper rad hose. So that's pretty much the install, guys. I'm gonna get this installed, take it around, put some boost to it, just make sure nothing blows off, and be good to go. All right, guys, so we're out here driving the truck around, just trying to get her up to temp. We're gonna give it a little boost, see how she holds together. Just obviously checking for boost leaks. This is definitely something you're gonna do ahead of time before taking the truck out and towing with it, just to make sure, because if you're pulling a good grade far away from home, obviously you don't want to have a boost leak, and hopefully no tools, or hopefully not no tools, then you'd be kind of dead in the water. So it doesn't hurt to just take it for a few little laps, a few little pulls. But besides all that, super easy install. It took about 25-ish minutes, with the mistake of having that clamp routed the wrong way. So it was an easy fix. And I mean, we just swapped it around, got it back on the road. And yeah, also we have a new product coming up in one of the future videos. It'll come up, and it should be, when the video goes up, the product should be at that time released and on SPE's website. And I don't know yet, we're gonna have to talk to the plug, but I might be able to work out a discount code. So on the next one, watch out for that. And hopefully, if the code's up for a few days, be on it quick. So I'll catch you guys later. Thanks for watching. Peace.